Up? It's more Poor Decisions with Scott. We're back on the Bourbon Trail for day 3 in Lexington, Kentucky. We're going to hit some distilleries today. First up, we have is Wild Turkey Distillery. Wild Turkey's been around since the late 1800s, and it's perched above the Kentucky River that you can see here. We crossed this bridge to get there. It is absolutely beautiful. This They have a 7-story rick house that overlooks that Kentucky River and plays a major role in developing the rich flavors found in Russell's Reserve and Wild Turkey. Master distiller Jimmy Russell has been here since 1954. You can see his parking spot up here on the right, which is pretty cool. He still works there. Here inside the distillery, you've got a wall of turkey, and we did the Russell Reserve connoisseur tasting, which we did Russell's Reserve 10, single barrel rye, and Russell's 13. The winners for me was the Russell's 13 and the single barrel rye. In the gift shop, I picked up the Wild Turkey 101 8-year and also this interesting little souvenir bottle that's distillery only. One tip is check your local Kroger's for better prices than the distillery. Next, we hit a few liquor stores. First one was Blue Whiskey. You can see that they have a big selection of short barrel. I picked up this Bee's Knees 4 Blackberry finish. I got a Michter's Barrel Strength. Also picked up from 2021 a single barrel rye for $14.99. The rest were all MSRP. Down the street from Kroger, I got a Shanks 2026. All right, next we hit Woodford Reserve. This is their lobby and their little waiting area before you start the tour. They take you on a little bus down here to the rick houses. So, little history on Woodford Reserve. Distilling has taken place on this property since 1812, making it one of Kentucky's oldest sites. Um, the distillery is designated a National Historic Landmark because of its importance to the bourbon history and its beautifully preserved architecture. Um, Unlike large bourbon producers, Woodford Reserve triple distills its whiskey in copper pots. And here's some of the mash that's actually going on now, which was kind of cool to see. Here's an empty one that they were cleaning out. It was very, very deep. And here you can see some of the uh, whiskey doing its magic. Here's the copper stills. These things are massive. It's These pictures don't do it justice, but they are massive. So Woodford's famous mash bill includes more rye than many traditional bourbons, contributing to the spice and complexity. The limestone rich spring water is used at the distillery's natural filters impurities and considered an essential bourbon production. Here you can see these barrels that are stacked up here. They go from the floor to the ceiling, which was really cool to see. Yeah, just barrels and barrels everywhere. It was really quite something to go through this rick house here. So as we finish this, we're going to be heading up to the gift shop and the tastings. So we had Woodford Reserve bourbon whiskey, we had malt whiskey, rye whiskey, wheat whiskey, and double oak. Overall, the tour was very informative and very cool. I did enjoy the little glasses that they we had the tasting out of. I picked up one of those in the gift shop. All right, next we hit Buffalo Trace because we had some time before our next tour. We hit up the gift shop, and it was pretty cool. Here's some vodka that was not really listed anywhere, so I wanted to make sure everybody knew what the price was on that. I didn't get any of the bottles, but I did get 2 Pappy cigars and an Eagle Rare cigar. And then we headed over to the John G. Carlisle Cafe, and here's some of the images of this is what you would see if you ate outside. I recommend the Italian, the burnt ends turkey sandwich, the warm chocolate cookie, and the $6 old fashioned. All that looked great. All right, next we hit Glen Creek Distilling. This is the former Old Crow Distillery. It's a massive compound, but however, a bad storm damaged a lot of the buildings. From what I understand, they were trying to recreate the original Old Crow recipe until they got a cease and desist letter by the owners now of Old Crow. So they kind of took that and ran with it and created the Flippin' the Bird whiskey. It's a pretty cool story. So our last tour of the day was at Castle and Key. We did the distillery experience tour. The grounds were absolutely beautiful. So, some history on Castle and Key. They were originally built in 1887 by the bourbon pioneer Colonel E.H. Taylor. This site was known as the Old Taylor Distillery. So each Taylor essentially invented bourbon tourism by designing the distillery as a destination for guests rather than simply a factory. And we saw that by, the railroad tracks that whenever you first walk up to the distillery, it was pretty cool. The iconic limestone castle, sunken gardens, and key-shaped spring house were inspired by Taylor's travels through Europe. After decades of abandonment, the property underwent a massive restoration beginning in 2012 and then finally reopened in 2018 as Castle and Key. The limestone spring house is shaped like a key because Taylor believed the water source was the key to making great bourbon. Actually had a wedding that was about to start whenever we were there. So it was kind of interesting to see how that's set up. Then we went into the little speakeasy tasting room, and we had their core lineup and a bourbon ball. It was pretty good. I think maybe the whiskey's a little bit young, but I think they're definitely on the right track. It's definitely a place that you want to tour and check out. It was absolutely beautiful. Highly, highly recommended. On our way back, we stopped by a Publix, and I was able to get a rare character Publix pick, age 21 years, 4 months, hazmat Mr. George bottle. Very, very cool. For dinner, we did Carson's Food and Drink, where I ordered filet medallions with mashed potatoes and asparagus. Dinner was great. The old fashioned was a little bit left to be desired. But that was day three. Day four coming up. Like and subscribe.